Hi guys, and welcome back. I got three BOP, Bureau of Prisons, corruption or civil rights violations. The first one's a former federal correctional officer pleads guilty in connection with plan to smuggle drugs into prison. This 27-year-old has pleaded guilty to receive of a bribe by a public official. He faced up to 15 years in federal prison. He hasn't been sentenced yet. Um, He was indicted back in March 2021. According to court documents, he worked as a correctional officer at the Coleman Federal Correctional Facility Complex, FCC Coleman, in Sumter County. On December 2020, he agreed to smuggle methamphetamine into the prison for an inmate in exchange for money. Once federal authorities were notified, he unwillingly began communicating with an undercover agent to complete the transaction. Federal agents mailed approximately 70 grams of fake methamphetamine and $2,000 in cash, in money orders to this individual. Agents observed him retrieve the package from his postal box office. He deposited money grams or money orders into his bank account. During his assigned shift, February 4, 2021, he actually smuggled the contraband into the actual facility, the Coleman facility, and provided it to an inmate. And that's when they was actually taken into custody. Actually, he actually went through the whole process. And the next one is out of Florida again. This one's out of Fort Myers, Florida. A correctional officer pleads guilty to attempting to smuggle drugs into prison. This is a 49-year-old has pleaded guilty to attempt distribution of methamphetamine and MDMA, commonly referred to as Molly. He faces up to 20 years in prison. He has not been his sentencing date has not been set yet. According to court documents, he worked as a correctional officer in Fort Myers at the Carlton Correctional Institute offsite work camp. In March 2021, he agreed to smuggle 3 ounces of methamphetamine, 1 ounce of MDMA, a small amount of synthetic marijuana, and 2 cell phones into the prison and provide it to an inmate in exchange for payment of a measly $400. I can't believe that. I don't believe that. That is too much weight. 3 ounces, 1 ounce of Molly, 2 cell phones for payment of $400. According to them, on March 31st, 2021, shortly before his shift was to begin, he met with an undercover FBI agent in the parking lot of a retail store located off of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Fort Myers. There, the undercover agent provided Spencer with sham drugs, 2 cell phones, and $400 in cash. Upon leaving the actual shopping strip mall, he was arrested. Well, $400, huh? $400. Wow. That's not even for one cell phone in California. In California, they're charging $900 in federal, and actually, state prisons are charging $900 per cell phone. That's what an inmate would get charged is $900 for one single cell phone. And the third one is a little bit more disturbing, though. This one is actually a former Florida Department of Correctional officer sentenced for civil rights conspiracy to assault youthful offenders. Former Florida Department of Correctional officer, a 31-year-old, was sentenced yesterday by U.S. District Court of actual Southern District of Florida to 33 months. That's not even enough. No way. 33 months in prison, followed by 2 years supervised release. That's not even enough either. How he's not actually have to register as some kind of offender, I don't know. He was actually convicted following he took the trial, 14-day trial for conspiring to assault youthful offender inmates at the South Florida Reception Center, a prison located in Doral, Florida. A second former officer previously pleaded guilty in this case and was sentenced in federal court. Okay, here we go. Evidence presented at trial established that on March 27, 2017, him and a former sergeant, a 31-year-old, conspired to physically assault and intimidate youthful offender inmates for being disruptive and disrespectful earlier that morning. Then these individuals actually instructed three of the inmates to exit their housing unit and took them into a mop closet. Once inside the mop closet, they assaulted one of the actual inmates. One of them actually used a broomstick, causing the inmate bodily injury, while the other two inmates stood nearby. The following day, they assaulted one of the other inmates to punish him for being disrespectful. Inmates may be classified as youthful offenders by a court or the Department of Corrections and are generally 24 years or younger. That's kind of old, but I guess it makes sense to a certain point, mental development wise. One of them actually previously pleaded guilty to conspiring to violate the inmate's civil rights. That's something. Wow, wow, that's really scary because that can happen to anybody. And I can tell you what I've never told nobody else. I've been the victim of that as a juvenile, and it's not cool. It's not cool, you know. Luckily, I was in the right place when this actually took place. That I had friends, coworkers, back me up and help me out of that jam and help me out of that jam completely. You know, the corrections officer sentence yesterday violated not only the Constitution but also the public's trust. Yeah, sure did, man. That's really sad because that you don't know how much that it actually damages you, you know. And if you don't get the proper help, you can let that actual that energy just get out of control and leads to dark roads, you know, leads to dark passages. All right, guys, it's just three BOPs. All right, thanks for stopping by.